We are watching the final of the IDL Darts Open held at Morden at the Royal Surrey Snooker Club. It's between Jason Askew and Dan Russell, and it's the first to 6 legs. Thank you ever so much for watching. A good final in store here between two very talented competitors. Both players have won 4 matches to reach this point, and of course it's not just the £150 first prize that's up for grabs here, but also crucial amateur darts circuits, that's ADC points as well. Both players feature very highly in the London and South East region. It's Russell who hits the bullseye and will get us underway here. And you can just see the shoulder of Darryl Clark, who's going to be doing the calling for the first half of this match. And well, it's fantastic to see Jason Askew playing so well. Once again, he's already been on the channel this year, having reached the final of the UK Open qualifier held at Riley's, Victoria. And he won, I think he won 5 matches that day, possibly even 6, and just missed out against good friend Darryl Pilgrim on that occasion. And if you're watching this on the early stages of April, well, Jason Askew is about to make his return to the Modus Super Series for the first time in a while. Still has the record average there of 118 against Aaron Monk. You can look that up on YouTube. So it'll be interesting to see how he gets on. He'll be in the Thursday and Friday morning session. Dan Russell, meanwhile, should be a familiar name if you competed in Opens in the south of England over the last 10 years. It was 10 years ago, can you believe it, 10 years ago where where Russell played in the Dutch Darts Championship, reaching the last 64, playing Mervyn King. And you can find that on YouTube as well, actually. That's on the PDC channel when they used to upload full matches to their YouTube. So there we go. So do have a look at that. So both down to a finish for, here after 4 or 5 visits. The 126 won't go for Askew, but leaves himself very handily placed for that last dart. So Russell, who got us underway here, needs another treble 20. Close. But leaves tops after 18 if this 40 doesn't go from Askew, but it does. So 17 dart leg to get us underway, and a break of throw in Askew's favour. Yes, we've had approximately 32 entries for this particular Open, held in March 2023, and it's hosted by the Individual Darts League, the IDL, and Paul Butler. And you can find out more information about the IDL by visiting theidl.co.uk. And you can find all the results, of course, on Darts Atlas, which is a fantastic tool. And you should certainly have a look at it if you're considering running a competition in the near future. Lovely 140 there from Askew, just finding his range. Russell has come through. Tight tussle in the previous round against John Nelson, although having said that, he won quite convincingly in the end 5-2. He beat Darryl Clark, who's doing the calling here in the quarterfinals. Also beat Michael Whiting and Jake Arnold as well in his route to the final. And while you're here, do consider subscribing as well. Lots of competitions and videos to follow, and have a look through the back catalogue if if you can. And thank you to everyone who has subscribed already. It does make a massive difference, and it's always very, very appreciative for you doing so. Askew's down to finish, but it's under a bit of pressure here from Russell, who gets down to 148. The 167 won't go. It's a good visit. Askew needs a 2-darter if Woody will be back for him, because the 148 won't go. So treble 18 here, you feel 12 or 20. Tops then the target for 2-0. Jason just a bit frustrated there. Felt that he could have put more emphasis into it. But may well be back. Well, it certainly is back for throwing for a 2-leg advantage. Finds double 5 with his second dart on that visit. 23 darter, not the strongest of legs, but the scoreline is what matters. 2-0. Onwards we go in this race to 6. Yes, well, of course, Jason is back at the Motor Super Series, as we were saying. And, well, if you think back to those dark days of lockdown, well, Jason was amongst one of the originals, of course, that took part in the at-home live league, as it was then. And, God, I seem to remember he played Phil Taylor, I think, at one point. It was in the very, very early days of the lockdowns, but the Motor Super Series has evolved from that. Lovely switching here to the treble 19s from Askew. Only 6 points between these two after 3 visits. Russell seems to have found his range. Dan Russell, the kind of player that you don't want to be drawing, certainly in the early stages of a darts open, but especially so in the latter as well. Can still throw a very mean dart, and look at that, 1-2-4 after 4 visits for both players. Treble 18. Russell perhaps just struggled on finding his range on the treble 18. It's 42 scored, so same target for Askew, but can't leave a double either. So single 17 will leave tops for Russell to get a leg on the board and a foothold in this match. Right on the wire, so another chance to break here. Askew is going to get 1 dart to do so at tops. Just shy of the target as well, so tense at the back end of these legs. I feel this is a must-get for Russell if he's going to contest this one. Double 10 shifts across the oche. Does find it with his last dart. 21 dart hold of throw. 2-1. That'll settle down Russell. Askew's route to the final would beat Chris King, Bradley George, and a bit of a tussle with Grant Taylor. Metaphorical tussle, of course. And then just an incredible match against PDC Tour card holder Connor Scutt, where both were averaging around 91. And to be honest, much higher in the early stages of that contest as well. So that was very good. You should go have a look at the stats on that one if you get the chance. Dan Russell has got a running average in ADC events of about 75. I couldn't find previous results of Dan's because his profile's set to private, but yeah, 75 average. He's ranked 8th in the South East and London region, so that gets him automatically into the Modus Series playoff, which means you can, if you win that, you then go to the Modus Super Series with the ADC badge next to your name. That's a lovely 140 there from Askew. This is a very strong leg from him, and a leg that he threw first in. Russell needs a big visit here. Could do another treble. It's a loose one. Does get him to a finish, and Askew perhaps wanting bull and then tops, so Neil has to adjust. 70 left. 161, won't go just on shy of the target there.
48. 64.
So 64. Askew's going to get one dart to lead 3-1. Tops hasn't been his friend in recent legs. Askew, only one treble needed in this combination for Russell. Oh, it's a good last dart. That leaves him handily placed. Thrown in anger, but does leave tops if the 20 doesn't go. Getting closer. Has to adjust. Just on the wire. So Askew misses darts to hold his throw and lead 3-1, and suddenly that last dart from Russell has made all the difference. 19 dart, break of throw and a break back, and in a match which Russell trailed 2-0, he's now levelled up, and it's 2 apiece. Other notable entries in addition to... oh, these are good darts from Russell. We see our first 180 of the contest. And a good return visit from Askew there in response to the 1-2-3. Russell seems to have found his range here, and then I've jinxed him just at that very moment. Yes, ADC wise, well, Askew's ranked 129th in the country, but is 15th in southeastern London in the region, so certainly in the upper echelons of that. Always a good guide. Quarter final at the Southwark Open, last 16 at the Croxley Classic, so playing as much as he can locally, as does Russell, so as a result both of them are going to feature highly in those localised rankings, which an extra guide from the ADC, which is useful. Russell just keeping pace. Both players can't quite surge ahead in the way they would like to. It is Askew who's down to a finish first. He leaves the tricky 1-3-5 outshot.
60.
No trouble for Russell, so perhaps the advantage with Askew here. Needs a treble.
47.
Can't quite find one. So, 2 bites of the cherry on this combination. Looks to be a good marker for the treble 18, which is found. So, wants the bullseye for 3-2.
Game in 3.
Very good. Very good darts. 1-2-2 checkout. Great effort there from Russell. He's won 3 in a row now. Just waited for Dale Clark to confirm that that was in.
42.
1-2 checkout. Very good. Seemingly from nowhere. That's the kind of darts that Russell can produce, and saw him feature pretty highly in the PDC circles a decade or so ago. Just the ton there. Clark getting ahead of himself perhaps, but Russell in again. Back-to-back tons. This is a close call, this match. We knew it would be close.
140.
Askew's reached a Challenge Tour semi-final in the past. And following that, that was late on a Sunday night, just before my bedtime. And I think thankfully they don't do that on the Challenge Tour anymore. So I'm just adjusting the camera there just to make sure you've got a clear view of the board. Challenge Tour now, it used to be 2 events on a Saturday, 2 events on a Sunday. They've adjusted it to, well, 5 events now, so 1 on a Friday. Sorry, 2 on a Friday, 2 on a Saturday, and just the 1 on a Sunday instead. Askew starting on the 19s with a 179 left. That's 83. 160 won't go, so Askew again. He's lost 3 in a row here. And would love to hold his throw just to feel like he's back in this contest. Double 16. And that is game shot.
Can someone take over? Sorry.
That's the last of the calling. From Dalby's done a great job. 83 checkout is a good response to the 1-2-2 from Russell. 3 apiece. Onwards we go. Yes, and as a result of that Challenge Tour semi-final, I believe that was in 2019, he'd go on to play on the Pro Tour as a top-up player, do some Euro qualifiers, and in 2020, of course, reached the UK Open as a Riley's qualifier. Had to beat a certain Martin Lukeman, Riley's Victoria, to reach that PDC Premier event. Russell perhaps getting a bit frustrated there. Askew can't find a treble either, so it's pretty close this. Very tense. Another player being able to really hit top gear. That was a good first and third dart from Askew. Gets to finish first on 4-3. Puts the pressure on Russell, who is now able to perform. But 6 darts here for Jason to find another break. That's a good last dart. Rescued his visit, really. And he'll be back for 80. Russell, love to fill it up here. Now just has to make sure he leaves a finish. He does do that, but it's first dibs. Askew wants 20 to leave tops. Hasn't been kind to him. Just on the wire. Needs to hope that this doesn't go. It's a lovely first dart. Another one of those. Leaves the bullseye. He's already hit a bullseye in this match, of course. And there he's fine. Oh, wow. Brilliant darts from Russell. Brilliant, brilliant darts. So he's had the 1-2-2 checkout on the ball. He's had the 1-6-4 checkout on the ball as well. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Askew misses a dart to break the throw. Russell takes out the 164 to lead 4-3. Well, that really did come from nowhere, didn't it? Because Russell was trailing in that leg throughout. It didn't look likely, but as I say, those are the kind of darts that he can produce when his back is against the wall. So Russell's now within 2 legs of lifting the title here at Morden. Morden does also run a individual darts league within the Royal Surrey Snooker Club, and if you want to find out more about that, visit the IDL.co.uk, and Paul Butler will be able to answer any questions you may have on that. It's good fun actually. It's the one league I can compete in because you can arrange your own matches at your own convenience, and it's a long format as well, so it's best of 15 legs, so first to 8, 7 all as the draw. So it's great fun, and highly recommend it. These two, of course, would be in the Premier Division if they played in it. So 114 points the advantage in favour of Askew here in a leg which he started first. Recent semi-finalist at the Dartford Open. That's a lovely multi-treble visit. The perfect setup for Jason. Leaves tops after 15, which he'll be back for. Russell can't leave a finish, so plenty of time. Askew's to level things up here. Tops still not being his friend, it has to be said, but a lovely switch to the double 10. Double 10 has bailed him out on a number of occasions. And that is an 18 darter for all. Best of 3 contests now. Of course, as he goes to the Motor Super Series, they'll have to do the best of 7. And you're playing at least, well, you'll have to play 5 games starting at something like 9 o'clock in the morning. Oof. Good luck with that. This is being filmed at the perfect time, about 5 o'clock in the evening, for a tournament which started about 2. But it's run very well. Paul Butler does a great job. He's done hundreds of these by now. Yes, I remember both of these players are used to very long days. Competitions can be a bit potluck, but if you know your organiser well, you know the venue, then you can tend to get a good feel for when these things might finish. Russell hits the front in this 9th leg. Treble 19 switching, very good from Askew, has to be said. Keeps him in touch, but 23 points the advantage after 3 visits for Russell. Just the 60, but gets him down to 161. You wouldn't put it past him taking that out, really, based on the 164 in the previous leg which he won. Good visit from Askew. He'll be back for that 104. That's all a bit scrappy. And there's also 104. That looks to be... Yeah, so Askew's dropping his darts. He does leave tops. This is a chance for a break. Hasn't been his friend. And it evades him once again. He did well to maintain his composure there. So a dart goes begging for a chance to break the Russell throw. It's a lovely visit from Russell if tops doesn't go for Jason. It won't do, so Russell back now for double 8. And this is to go within 1 of the title. Double 114. Long way off. Needs to adjust now. Once double two. Nails it. Nails it with his third. Good clutch doubling. Good clutch doubling from Russell. He goes within one of the title. Both players were disappointed that they haven't been able to find their top form here. But it doesn't matter. It's just about getting over the line. If you have to win ugly sometimes, then winning ugly will certainly do, especially when the winner's check is on the table for the taking. 97 and a ton to kick us off in this crucial 10th leg. Treble 19 hitting Askew again. It's been absolutely superb, it has to be said. This contest, Russell has found the treble 20 with regularity when he needs it, when he crucially needs it. It's evaded him there, and it's advantage Askew to try and level things up. Knows he needs to throw the kitchen sink at this one. Just the 45, so perhaps an opening. Russell to apply some pressure. Lovely second dart, just what he wanted. Lovely third one as well. Right back in this leg. As he tries to make his move and surge towards the finish line. Good switch from Askew. The switching in the power scoring has been very impressive indeed. And he's actually got 6 darts from 131 after that visit from Russell. So we can just look to set this up, and he will do. He'll leave tops again for another go at that particular part of the board. Russell looks well placed to apply some pressure if the tops doesn't go. Just the ton. Double top. And he does get it that time. And you can see the reaction there from Askew, because he knows that that target's been evading him. And a 16 darter. Onwards we go. One leg shootout now. We knew this would be a close contest. Perfect start. Russell with that first dart. Follows it in. Very tense. Ricocheted. That was going to be close, that. So to the 140. How can Askew reply? 2 140s. Wow, brilliant. 140 each. God, trebles are like gold dust at this point. We always say it. Well, I always say it. But it is so true, isn't it? Just trying to find your range. Also, we need a treble. We can't find it. So perhaps he's the first to blink. How can Askew respond to that? Perfectly with a treble 20. Ton backs up the 140. Askew steals the throw. It's a lovely second dart though. Very tense. Good second dart, so should leave the big fish, and he does do. So Askew's down to a finish first. Russell not out of this yet. Desperate for a treble. Can't find it, so it's 6 darts from 170. Love to see the big fish. That'd be a hell of a way to lift the title. It won't go. It still hasn't happened on my channel. It will do at some point. I'm absolutely sure of it, but it hasn't happened yet. So no treble there for Askew. Does that leave the opening that Russell wants? Loose third dart, but does apply pressure. 1-3 won't go. He does leave double 16 if the 109 doesn't go. So just 109 points separates Russell and the title. 1 treble needed. Still possible. Treble 18 will leave the bull. go, so he'll have to stay there. There's 86 left. Okay. Opted to switch because I think that second dart was a blocker. So double 16 then for the title. Just on the wire. So Russell's going to have match darts now. How many will he get? Treble 10? Looks to be aiming that way, yes. 60 left. Tops then. Match dart incoming. Russell frustrated. More match darts incoming from Askew. Double 8. And he gets it. He gets it. 20 darter to win and survived match darts along the way. Good effort from Jason Askew. That'll give him all the confidence he needs ahead of his Modus Super Series return next week. Commiserations to Dan Russell, but a fantastic run for him. And thank you for watching.